brand new video. I am super excited to share with you, I wouldn't say a dramatic purchase, but there's a fun story to go along with this. And this is honestly, this is something that I've envisioned and hoped to come across and never thought I'd see a variation of the style with this colorway since 19A, and I'll go through it with you. As we know, 21K was a collection that I didn't really have very high hopes for, wasn't really looking for anything, but there was a particular finish that I did like that I purchased an SLG in, and if you know what I'm talking about, you'll know what this is. And I didn't know that there would be a bag available in this finish. I never asked, to be honest. I never thought to ask, and I never saw it online until one day somebody had sent me a photo from a personal shopper's page based in the US. They had this bag and I'm like, is this for real? And then I saw there's another YouTuber on here based in the United States, not far from Canada, not far from the border, and she had posted that this was available at her local boutique, and oh my god, I completely lost it. So I'm gonna just shut up and I'm gonna show you what this is. Absolutely crazy. Wasn't planning on making this purchase at all, but I knew I would regret it if I didn't, because it is such a special piece in the way it's done, and this is something that I think will stay in my collection for a really long time. So it's just me in a bag. So anyway, here we have the box. Coco Neige dropped just a couple of days ago, so here's some items that I got from there, and I'll show that in another video. But here we have the lovely bag in the box. We're gonna undo the ribbon, and I'm gonna open this on camera. I haven't unboxed this before, and so I haven't seen it since I purchased it, and I'll tell you all about it. Here we have black tissue paper. What does that mean? Usually it means that it is a classic flap. So we're gonna carefully, because I like to preserve the wrapping, and we're carefully going to take the sticker off. And sometimes, you know, when you buy bags, the sales associate will just not do the sticker, but usually if it's, you know, it's nice when they add the sticker because it's very special. I love taking it apart flawlessly. You can see I haven't ripped the tissue paper. We're going to undo this white dust bag, as we know, with a classic flap. And then in here I have all the paperwork. So you have the book here, which has, yes, so it has the date of purchase, and it also has the serial number as per the plaques now, because they don't have authenticity cards, and it has the boutique stamp on there. And then of course I have my glove and all that to wipe the bag. And then you have like the fan folded tissue paper, which they usually do for these items. So we're gonna set the box down here and let's open it. Let's see if you guys can guess what this is. So, oh my god. Okay, so this is in a size that I don't have, and it is a mirror-like finish gold classic flap in the size small. It still has the sticker on the front, so I'm going to just take this off because I think the blue is just killing the vibe. But here it is. This is in the hammered calfskin, so it's veau, so it's calfskin, in sort of like a yellow gold color. It's not as yellow as 19A, but in a yellow gold color. I'll have a comparison photo of the mock croc embossed 19A small leather goods, and they also had a bag at that time, which at the time I thought was a little too gaudy, but now I'm kicking myself because I would have loved to have that piece in my collection. This isn't as yellow as that, but it's yellower than a lot of the champagne golds. But this, I'm just gonna get closer for you. But this is quite special. Again, it's a small size. I don't have a small in my collection, so this is my first small size. I'm usually a medium size, medium large classic flap girl, because on me, people think that those are like the mini because I wear them crossbody, and they think they look quite small. They're like, oh, is that a mini? And I'm like, no, that's the medium classic flap. And or they think it's the small. The difference between the mini and the small is not too huge, but the proportions are a little bit different on the small versus the medium. The medium is a bit more rectangular as compared to the small. The small is a little bit more square than the mini. This isn't quite patent. It's not patent, it's a hammered finish on the calf skin, so it is quite soft. But there's got to be some sort of glaze on here. There is edge stitching all the way. And it's very different how the bottom is done. Like, as you can see, so again, you don't have the stitch on the smalls that go like this. That's how you can tell it's a small, although there are some smalls now that have the stitch here, and that's like a whole other ordeal. If you've seen Super Jacob on YouTube, he did a video on this. You know, and I remember seeing this and wondering about it myself, and he also has been wondering why certain smalls have been coming with that stitch, but this one doesn't have it. But instead of the front flap being more on the outside, like usually the front panel would come and then you'd have a stitch here. In this case, it's done in the opposite way. So you have this sort of edge all the way around, and it's very neat and tidy, which is why when I originally saw a photo of this, I thought it was a mini, but it's actually a small. And the reason why I knew it was a small was because it's got the 4 grommets instead of the 2. And so I think it just makes the bag look very, very neat, but they had to do that because of the way the leather is. It's more stiff, and if they did it the other way, I don't think it would have looked as neat. So it's quite special the way they've done this. The hardware also has a hammered finish to it. We can see. So it is kind of matte in some areas and shiny in some areas. And then of course you have like a dull gold chain. Back pocket. The inside flap is also gold. Okay. And it's not glazed, it's actually a softer gold. And then inside you have black, made in France. So this does not have an authenticity card. It has the metal plaque on the inside, which is right there. That is not a chip, it's not something that you can scan. And this is my ultimate gold, gaudy, but so me bag. I mean, it's just perfect. It's a very, this is more of an event bag, but you can wear it with an all black outfit and it would work. Like if you went out in the evening, the way that the hammered finish just catches the light, I think it's so stunning. And it's not super smooth that if you scratch it, you'll notice. And you know, so here's the story of this bag. So Classics with a Quirk had posted in her stories, and I messaged her. I'm like, oh my god, that is me in a bag. And she had let me know. She's like, hey, it's available at my local boutique. And I'm like, okay, I don't think Canada ordered this at all, and because I never saw it. And so at the same time, so I messaged everybody I knew here and I said, hey, have you seen this bag? And I didn't get a response yet. And then the day that she had, so the next day she said, you know, hey, I'll give you my sales associate's contact and you can contact her if you're able to purchase it. And she's not too far. The boutique was not too far from my city. If I was to drive there, it would take like 5 hours. The borders are closed, so obviously couldn't do that, but I thought I'd figure it out and be like, okay, can I purchase this and then pick it up later perhaps. So the sales associate was really sweet. She got back to me and she said, we do have this bag, and she asked her manager, and they do have Canadians that will purchase from their boutique and in the past would drive over and pick it up. And she said that they can ring it through and then wait till the border opens and I can drive over and pick up my purchase. Or if I wanted to, Classics with a Quirk had offered to purchase the bag for me and I would pay her back obviously, and she would ship it to me. And so the fact that the sales associate said that I could drive over and pick it up, I'm like, amazing. That, like for this bag, I would do that. It seems like such an extra thing to do, but I would definitely do that. I would make a little road trip and just go and pick it up. In the meantime, like I had visited a boutique, in Toronto, and I walked in and I know the manager there, so I asked her, I said, hey, like, have you seen this bag at all? Like, has it been ordered in Canada? And she said, I haven't seen that. I don't think we ordered it. And so I thought, okay, like, we probably didn't, because I would have seen it somewhere. I haven't seen it. And there were SLGs in this. I saw a wallet on chain in this. Obviously I got the O case in this, but I didn't see a bag, and I didn't hear of a bag coming in that finish. So I thought it was a done deal, and I told that sales associate in the US, I said, okay, great, like, I will go for it. Gave her my payment information, and she said that it'll take like a couple of days to ring it through because they do have to verify credit card information. So I said that's totally fine, and we left it at that. The next day I got messages from everybody else that I messaged, and they said that either no, they haven't seen it, or there is a small in Canada and it's at their head office apparently. Now I don't know what this head office is and why there are bags there. I mean, a head office is like a corporate thing. Why would there be handbags lying around at head office? I would like to know where this head office is. So, and they said, we'll try to put a request in, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I also thought about it, and I was talking to Classics with a Quirk. I'm like, hey, listen, like, if I purchased in the US, it seemed like if I converted it, it seemed to be like $600 cheaper than if I purchased it in Toronto. The problem is, though, you'll also be driving there. And then with COVID, to cross the border, you got to do your COVID test here, and then you got to do your COVID test there. And that's a whole other ordeal and logistics of traveling over the border that I did not anticipate or think of. So it wasn't just going to be an easy grab and go sort of thing. There were going to be a lot more, procedures involved in doing this. And of course, added cost and hassle of bringing it over the border and then dealing with customs and duty, because if you are purchasing something, you will have to pay HST when you cross the border. You can't hide something like this in your car. Okay, you can't do that. Imagine getting found out and having it confiscated. So it's just an added cost. Totally worth it if this was not available here. But in this case, if there was a chance of me purchasing it locally, then it was understandable that I would purchase it locally. So I did get a message, and I messaged that sales associate, and I said, hey, like, I'm 100% on going for it, but if I do purchase it locally, or if it's available locally, then I may actually get it locally, just because it is more convenient, and I wouldn't want to hold the bag there from other customers, because also, let's say if the borders don't open. I was cut off because my camera overheats and I think my battery's about to die, so I'll wrap this up. But anyway, there was a small available somewhere in Canada. There was only one, which was this one, and I was, everybody then messaged me. It was like, okay, we're gonna try to request this for you, and I'm like, and then you feel awkward because you're like, oh my gosh, everybody's gonna try to request this for the same person. Anyway, the sales associate that I usually deal with messaged me on their day off and said, I requested this and I have this bag for you. You can purchase it tomorrow. It's coming to the boutique. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I let everybody know. I said, hey, listen, I've already been able to get my hands on this, so thank you very much for trying to get this in for me. Another sales associate said that apparently there's a medium that's coming, and that they'll let me know when it does come in. The medium is slightly bigger than this. I spoke to Classics with a Quirk, and she also modeled the small, and we're about the same height, and she said, and I think she's right, that the small in this shiny gold is probably going to be a better choice than getting the medium, which is not that much bigger, but it's more expensive too, and it might be a little bit overkill as compared to the small. So she is right. So I decided to go for the small, even though, and also because I don't have a small, which is nice. I never had a small size. I also texted her sales associate that she graciously connected me with, and I messaged her and I explained, I said I didn't think of the COVID, I didn't think of the logistics of COVID, of crossing over the border, and also the thing is what that sales associate had let me know was they have a 30-day return policy in the US, which here you can't return. You get a store credit or you exchange, and that's 14 days. But in the US, you can actually return and get a full refund. And she had said that, hey, listen, if the borders don't open or for whatever reason you're not able to come, rest assured we have a 30-day return policy. And so I was like, okay, so I felt okay about that. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to hoard an item for 30 days from somebody else who potentially might want this piece. So as soon as like literally it was in a day, I let her know. I messaged her and I said, thank you so much for going out of your way to do this for me, but it is available locally, and it's probably better. I'm probably better off to purchase it locally, and so please, like, don't ring it through, and you can release that bag to the floor to anybody else who may want to purchase it. And I also phoned the boutique as well, and I spoke to a sales associate there who conveyed the message to the manager, and they were very happy about that. They were like, that's amazing that you got it locally, and yes, you know, if I were you, I would also purchase it locally as well. So I think that's in terms of like etiquette when dealing with sales associates, because don't leave them off the hook. As soon as you find something, let them know that you won't be going ahead so that they can sell that item to somebody else. So that was really great, and I'm especially grateful to Classics with a Quirk, who brought this to my attention, because I wouldn't have dreamed about it, I wouldn't have asked about it, and so I will always think of her when I have this bag, and it's lovely that she was able to link me with her boutique. I'll do a quick comparison in terms of the medium size. Actually, let's do color. So in 21S, there was this gold color that came out, that is the gold trendy CC. I hope you can see a bit of a difference. This is a softer lambskin, and this is more of a champagne gold. This is more of a gold. So that's the difference between them. There was a classic flap that they did release in this, but it had black hardware, and at first I was like, why would they do that? But when I did see photos of it, I'm like, that's actually really nice. So I didn't go for that. And had they done it in champagne, I would have been all over it. This is a comparison between the 19A Paris, Egypt, New York collection. So this is a very yellow gold, mock croc embossed calf skin, absolutely stunning. I have seen this classic flap on some people in this color, and very, very beautiful. And this is a little bit more of a subdued gold than this, and so you know, it's like I've revisited that collection through this in a way. So that's a comparison of the golds, if you are wondering. And then here I'm going to compare. Okay, this is in my storage. So this is a medium classic flap in the beige clair. You can see how I store it in the dust bag. Okay. This is the medium classic flap, and I'll maybe do a comparison video now that I have the small size, but it's actually quite big as compared to the small. So if you see here and we compare them side by side, that's how they look. So it's a bit longer and it's a bit taller. So I think Classics with the Work Cork was right. In this finish, the medium size may have been overkill. And let's look at strap drop, because to my understanding and what I've seen in boutiques, I've seen a medium and a small next to each other in boutique, and I thought that the strap drop was the same. Some people said the strap drop on the small is longer, and you can wear it crossbody. Well, not crossbody, but you have an easier time wearing it crossbody. So let's compare the strap drop of both. You know, it is slightly longer from the top. So I would say, if I was to compare, it's about that much longer. So it's about an inch longer in strap drop between the small and the medium. And I'll take measurements and I'll insert them here so you have a better understanding of the strap drop, but that's the comparison between the two sizes. So I'm incredibly grateful to add this to my collection. I have a weakness for gold bags. I think they are just an amazing neutral. You can wear them out if you're brown, if you're Indian. This is very, very handy because we do wear a lot of gold, and to us this is not gaudy at all. This is absolutely stunning. I would not consider this gaudy at all, and if it is, I don't care. I'm gaudy. If you enjoyed this video, now if you would like to look for this, I'm pretty sure there are a few that are trickling around in the United States. It seems as though there's more coming, maybe in the upcoming weeks. So you might want to check your local boutique if they do get stock of this particular classic flap. This did come in silver as well. I haven't seen that in person, but apparently this did come in silver. So if any of you are interested, you might want to ask around and someone will pull through. Just call your boutiques, ask them, see if they can help you out, and it came through for me, so I really could not believe that I was able to get my hands on this. And yeah, so super stoked to get this in my collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing, and I will do some comparisons with you in terms of classic flap sizes. I'll revisit that topic video again, and do a massive comparison again, and just go over different materials and stuff for any of you who are wondering. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.